water is so far. I'm just a girl.
We found the crack in the armor.
Finally.
You're not a perfect man. I just hate
Total
cooking.
bullshit.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
So you don't cook at all lah?
No, and I don't like cooking on crock pot.
Oh.
So
Crockpot.
Welcome to another episode of Men Explain. It is getting crowded in here, right, Aves?
Yes, it is. Once again, welcome back to another episode where we dive into topics and we go into the minds of women, of men, and then we kind of break it down with our unapologetic, honest opinions.
Yeah, honestly, I think this is the time where like Aves and I can actually argue and get away with it
Correct.
on the show.
Correct. And we can actually say what we want to say.
Yes. But please, before anything else, can we please welcome our guest today?
Welcome to the hot pot.
The hot fuck.
Hot pot.
How many different?
Oh my god, someone's a fan.
Yeah, no, right? No, but please welcome Joey and Nick. How are you guys doing today?
Woo.
Very excited to be here, by the way. When they told me that, hey, we want you to do an entire episode where you can mansplain things,
That's the reason why he came here.
I was like, that's great.
Happy to be here.
Okay.
Yeah,
Happy to be sitting next to Avery, or okay.
Sure. I'm looking at you, so I'm very happy.
Like 3 times for help at this point in time.
So bad. So
Okay,
bad.
but I think you know what? Today's topic, right? We're gonna have a lot to talk about. Weaponized incompetence, a term that has been thrown around quite a bit lately.
I want to be very honest. I haven't heard this term until I was going to do this episode.
Was it? It's all over my TikTok.
Okay,
I wonder
it's-
if it's because like I'm being targeted.
Your algorithm, yeah, they're trying to send you a message.
Can we start by giving a definition? What is weaponized? What?
Incompetence.
See, I don't even know what it means.
But you might be doing it unconsciously. I don't
Okay, tell
even
me,
know.
tell me.
This is not restricted to just men, by the way, because when I went through this, I felt like I could relate a lot to it. Guilty as charged. Do you realize sometimes certain people in your life, they are not exactly not good at something, but they make excuses for it? Like, oh, I can't do this because I'm not good at it.
Yeah.
But actually, they're just trying to get away with doing something. Could be in the office, could be at home, wherever.
Okay. I know exactly.
It became a trend on TikTok, right? Because I think it first started off with a lot of, in general, women posting about how like they are the ones who are primarily doing the household chores at home.
Yeah.
And then when asked like why their male partners
Don't do it.
contribute,
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm bad at the laundry.
yeah, I'm so
or,
bad at doing the laundry. You
suck
do
at
it so much
ironing.
better. Like,
Yeah,
I can't
yeah,
really
yeah.
cook, that sort of thing.
So I guess it works both ways, right? For women as well, it could be like repairing the stuff. You know, oh, I don't know how to change a light bulb.
Actually, I have a confession. I do that with Jeremy very often. Like, I don't like to do the dishes or the laundry or anything really. Yeah.
There's a female version. It's just, I'm just a girl.
yeah.
I'm just
I'm just a
I'm just a baby.
Just the passenger princess.
Like the water is so far. I'm just a girl.
I'm that girl.
So when was the last time you guys actually used that excuse? Like, I'm just bad at it. Like, can you do it for me?
Yeah, all the time. So I'll give you an example and then maybe Joey you can. I don't know which one you relate to more,
Okay.
but this is the number one excuse that I always make when I don't want to do the dishes, which is all the time, okay? I'll say like, I don't want my hands to like itch, you know, and my manicure and my hands are very, you know, sensitive to the dishwashing soap.
Is it actually?
It is, yes.
Could be true with prolonged
Yes.
What dishwashing soap
exposure.
you use?
You know, just any dishwashing soap really.
You must get like upgrade your dishwashing.
No, you need the
Like
Ajuma
Aesop-
gloves.
Aesop-
Not the
Aesop.
pink rubber gloves.
But then the gloves, right? You still have that residual, I don't know. Like
Then he do lah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the best solution is he do lor.
Exactly.
Joey, when was the last time you said, you know, oh, I'm just bad at it?
I wouldn't say I'm just bad. I would just say like, oh, we need to do this, which is, if you look into the words, is you need to do this.
We need to do this, dot, dot,
Correct.
dot.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, we need to do this. Oh, we need to go and get that. Oh, I need to go to the fridge. But he's closer to the fridge. He'll be like,
Yes.
okay, I'll go get it. I'm like, oh, thanks.
Yeah.
But would you say that that's really weaponized incompetence then? Because it's not that you can't do it. It's not that you're
No.
bad at it. You just
I think
don't
Are
want
we
that
to do
doesn't
it.
really
manipulative?
Yeah, that's just manipulation.
Are we manipulative, Joey?
No, I feel like it becomes weaponized incompetence, right? When you use you doing it badly or not being able to do it as an excuse to get the other person to do it.
Yes.
Yes.
If you outright say like, I don't like to do it or I don't want to do it, can you do it for me, please? Because like, I would like if you could do this for me. I think that's not weaponized incompetence.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So what about your dynamic then?
I don't think so. If I don't want to do something, I'll just say I don't want to do something.
Okay.
Yeah, and I feel like in terms of household chores, we are split like
Evenly.
yeah, quite evenly. So like cleaning and laundry we will split, but cooking is always myself. Then after that, like dishes will always be my wife Jess.
Right.
Yeah,
What about like tech related stuff?
me.
It's definitely you. Does she make any reasons or excuses or no?
No, she just doesn't keep up to date with like.
She's
with
like,
stuff,
you're better at it, for sure.
Yeah.
for
Or even
sure.
like home improvement,
Yeah.
right? Like say if we were to implement a smart home tomorrow, it will be me lah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is she doesn't expect me to do it.
Yeah.
So it's not a case of like, I want a smart home, can you do it? She's just like, I don't need a smart home.
But do you think that's a gender norm, being like, oh, the men should do the repairing, the men should do the setting up of the smart homes, while in Sonia's case, a bit different lah, huh? But like, do you think that's a gender role?
I feel like if we look at the median and average, right, then there definitely are gender stereotypes in terms of like what society expects women to do, what society expects men to be better at.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't think that that's accurate or representative for
Yeah.
every relationship lah.
Yeah, I'm going to just put it out there. Like my own partner, Jeremy, he's not very good at tech stuff. Honestly, like
The man works in fintech.
yeah, but okay,
He's more fin than tech lah.
Tech different.
fintech doesn't equate to fixing cables, my friend. Okay, this is why Avery's in media. Okay, like I can see that.
Correct. No, but I think it's interesting because like coming from a single person, right? Obviously, you got all this weaponized incompetence that you guys are talking about comes from relationships. Do you guys see it in
Outside.
the workplace, right? Because for me, I will say that as a single person, I can't say, oh yeah, I see this in a relationship because what relationship are we talking about? But we do see it.
Internally crying.
I know, no. Externally also. But I see a lot in the workplace. So for me, my weaponized incompetence comes from knowing that my radio partner Jermaine is very much logistically more capable than I am.
Oh,
Logistically,
Correct.
meaning
Meaning that she handles all the Excel sheets when it comes to like doing our scripting, our Pro Tools. She is hands-on with everything.
Yeah.
And initially when we first started, she was like, can you do it? And I was like, I can, but
you do it better.
you do it better than me.
Mm.
And we've been in this partnership for 3 years now that she doesn't even bother asking anymore. She's just like, okay, I will do it because I know that you're terrible at it.
So you contribute with eye power and moral support.
I contribute with my brain
Okay, your
and my
brain,
presence
I
And the
see.
vibes.
and the
Okay.
vibes.
Okay.
But you go try or not? You try?
I do try. I'm not great at it, right? And she really is good at it. And I think it's also kind of like a give and take because now she knows when you do it, it's okay. When I do it, it's great. So let me do it instead.
I feel like if it's a case of you put in like your 100%, right, and it's at a level that you can live with and you're happy with, but the other person is not happy with it,
Yeah.
then
It's not
I think
really
it's not
weaponized
really-
incompetence,
it's not really
right?
weaponized
But I will admit sometimes then now when I do also, maybe I do 60% and she want to do better, then she do all.
You know she's
That is weaponized.
So I'm
incompetence.
weaponizing my incompetence.
I think I need to say that I think there's a very fine line between playing to each other's strengths and weaknesses and weaponized incompetence. Like if you have been tasked to do something and it's agreed upon that you will handle this and you come home and the dishes are not done, everything's messy, and they're like, oh, because like I tried and it was just too messy, I can't do it, I figured you do it better. But it was really agreed upon that you would handle this. If you don't even try, then I think that's weaponized incompetence. But if it's agreed upon that, okay, it's okay, I'm better at this and you're better at this, then we split. I don't think it's weaponized incompetence because it's agreed upon that you guys play to your strengths and weaknesses. Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
like if in a relationship or within a couple, right, one person assigns something to another person, then you must be prepared for the result lah. Like, yeah.
100%. Like, why would you force a task that you know will not be performed well on someone just to make them feel like, see, you're not living up to the standard? But it doesn't make sense to force this task on someone that like they can't do.
Yeah, no, so for me, like, okay, I don't feel forced to do it. I know that I should also pull my own weight when it comes to these things. We have our own places, right? So I also learn how to handle some of my stuff, be it household chores, finances, or whatever it may be, right? But then when we come together and, he already knows that I hate doing, say, laundry or dishes or whatever. But when I do it at his house, he's like extra appreciative of it. So he's like, oh, I really appreciate it. So maybe the trick is you got to hold back a little bit. Like,
Set
don't
the bar lower.
Yeah, set the bar lower. So when you do it, it's like, wow, like
Good
reward.
job.
But the question is, do you think that that's really incompetence or just that you just don't want to do it? Because like if you're incompetent, it means that you can't do it well.
Yeah.
It's like throwing it in and pressing a button. How bad can
No,
it?
different.
No, it's not.
So like I'm quite particular about laundry also. Must fold a certain way. So then when Jess doesn't fold a certain way, right, then I'm like, I will refold. But I will make it a point to not be like, you fold wrong. Can you don't fold it like that?
You will just go and do it
Because if
yourself.
you are doing it, then I must be prepared that like this is the result lah.
Yeah.
Right.
But he really likes like laundry, cooking, cleaning. He loves.
Wow.
that a lot.
I'm starting to realize that a lot of this, when it comes to relationships, a lot of it is dependent on how your partner both of you like to do something, don't like to do something, right? But that's more of like a compromise.
Yes.
When you guys first started this relationship, was it like you paid attention to what this person is not good at? Because to me, that's more incompetent than it is like a compromise.
I think it depends on your tolerance level also. Because so far, the examples that we've given, right, have always been like one is good, one is not good. But I think it really becomes a true test when both are not good or both of y'all don't like to do a certain thing.
And I also feel like a lot of the things that we're talking about, right, is very like physical. Like,
It
laundry,
is.
vacuuming, ironing, chores.
Is there another like angle, like emotional?
Emotional, talking about feelings,
Yeah.
like having
Oh, this
that
one I
like
cannot.
debrief.
You cannot,
Yeah.
really?
Okay, we found the
Wait,
we
hold
found
up.
the crack in the
Finally.
armor.
Finally.
You're not a perfect man.
Tell us.
Nobody said that.
Okay, no, yeah, but that's a good one. Yeah, tell
You're
us about
mostly what Avery is aspiring to be.
right now.
Okay, next, sorry.
I am
Yeah.
emotionally avoidant.
Really?
So I've been told by my female co-hosts on the podcast, and Jess has confirmed this.
Okay.
I think like when we argue a lot of times, it's because of this also. I have learned recently that I have cognitive empathy and not emotional empathy.
Please fill us in on the difference in case some of
Cognitive
our viewers
empathy
don't know.
is I understand why you are feeling this way.
Mm.
Emotional empathy is I can feel it as well.
So you understand but you don't feel.
Yeah.
He can like intellectualize it, but he can't emotionally process
Empathize
it.
in that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
So does Jess look at it and she's like, okay, I understand that you don't process this the way that
Yeah.
like, I would prefer it. So that to me is like, I'm going to step up and then be able to properly do this in a relationship.
Yeah, so I think early days there was that calibration that was needed lah. I also had the realization that if I kept on going like, I'm just not like that, then I feel like that is a form of weaponized incompetence also. Like you are kind of making an excuse to not try by saying that,
Oh my gosh,
I just
completely
cannot.
agree. I completely understand this as well, right? Because as you are trying to emotionally deal with something, right? And then you're like, because it's so emotional, I don't know how to deal with
You
it.
back off from it.
Yeah, I'm just going to be like, you know what? If you don't understand it, too bad.
No, but you are the emotional one or you are the not emotional one?
Both.
Oh.
So like, to my partner, I'm not emotional. To Sonia, I'm very emotional.
Yeah. So it's a spectrum also, like how...
No, but I also think that sometimes it depends on the person that you're with. It brings out a different side of people. Like, sometimes the person that is maybe not suitable for you, right, brings out just this like horrible side of you that you didn't even realize existed. And then you don't even recognize yourself after that.
Yeah, I think once it's brought to your consciousness from your subconscious, or like maybe you weren't aware, once someone tells you, hey, I'm not okay with this, and you constantly continue the same behavior, then to me, I feel like you're going out of your way to hurt that person. Or like you're consciously hurting that person. Because you already know what your partner needs this to feel validated or secure. And you're like, but I'm not good at it. So it's still a conscious choice too. I know if I don't change, I'm hurting her, but it suits me better, ma. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I think a good example is when Jeremy and I had our own issues and we tried to iron certain things out, right? One of it was the communication when it came to like solving problems, or when I come to the table with like this issue or that issue, and I actually just want him to empathize and listen. But he was very similar to what you
Problem
mentioned.
solver.
Yeah, problem solver. So he'd be like, it's just so easy, just do this. Why didn't you just do that? Then it make me even more emotional, right? And I'm like, you just don't understand me. And after I communicated to him that, hey, sometimes all I need is someone to listen and not come back with a solution. I just want you to be like, I'm on your side, babe. Like, I'm on your side. That's it. I'm on your side. So he's like, oh, like that. Okay. So to be fair, he's kind of changed it a little bit. Yeah.
Same with Charlie. He would oftentimes like keep quiet, and in his head he's like, yeah, I agree, this person sucks also. Like, I can't believe they hurt you. But then outside he's like this, like, like I already knew this would happen. I'm like, I understand that. I understand that logically you can process it. But like me, what I need right now is to feel like you're on my side. So I will literally give him phrases like, I'm sorry. When you say I'm sorry, it's not like I'm sorry I caused you hurt. It's like, I'm sorry you're feeling this way. It's about empathizing or sympathizing the person.
I'm sorry this is happening.
Correct. So I had to teach him, okay, say I'm sorry this is happening. You can rub my back. If you have no words to say, you can rub my back. You can maybe hold my arm. Like, these are ways that I will feel assured.
Comforted.
Correct.
Yeah.
I think I cannot expect him to know what to do without communicating that also.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of the partnership and growing together, right, is about communicating. And also sometimes I cannot take his silence as like ignoring me, because that's how he processes it.
Yeah. Sometimes my own partner's like, I have nothing to say. I understand, but I got nothing to say anymore at this point. And that's why he stays quiet.
So it's a case of, I feel like if you give them 10 keywords, right, to use, and then they use 6, but then the other 40% of the time they're silent or they are like in problem-solving mode, then they are trying.
Yeah.
They're
They're
still
trying their
trying.
best.
Yeah.
Whereas if like they don't try to communicate in the way that you want, then that is a bit of a weaponized incompetence.
Anyway, he's already committed to me in life, so he has no choice but to deal with this, you know.
Obviously, this is because you feel that your partners are not able to express a certain emotion towards you, and you guys have to teach them in that sense, right? So do you think, in a sense, women are kind of to blame? I put open inverted commas, like that, Disclaimer. To blame for like coddling men in this sense, you know, when it comes to maybe emotionally, oh, you don't understand me as a woman. Let me do this for you, because if not, it's going to feel as though you're weaponizing your incompetence and making me feel like I cannot express it this way.
It is a two-way street, I feel, right?
Yeah, I think coddling comes when, let's say you are in a public setting and then he doesn't say anything, and then you try to defend him without letting him handle it himself. For example, like maybe it's his family and maybe there's bad news, right? And then he didn't say the right thing, he just said there, and then they accuse him of, why don't you have anything to say about this family matter, right? And then you speak up like, no, he actually just doesn't, you know, like this is how he processes it. Instead of letting him deal with that, and then you go and speak up and like protect him. I think that's coddling.
Right.
But if behind the scenes you're like, hey, you know, just now at the family thing, I think you should have like spoken up, but I understand this is how you process, but from the outside it looks like you don't care. And then like you give him the tools to also have independence, because we don't want to like shape them to the people that we want them to be,
Right.
like all the way. You know what I mean?
So Nic, do you think your wife coddles you? And maybe not say emotionally, but even in like household chores and stuff like that.
Coddle is such a challenging word.
I think a bit, because like there are times where my workday is quite hectic. Like and a lot of times I cook my lunches. So even when I'm alone at home, then I will cook, because like my wife will go to the office and all that, right? And I work from home. So sometimes I cook, I eat, and then I have to go straight back to work, so I don't clean up. But
I do that too.
But then in my mind, it's like, okay, I will clean up later.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think her threshold for like leaving it there is much lower than mine. So then a lot of times she cleans up. Obviously not all the time lah. And then there are times also where it's like when she returns home from office, I make it a point that, okay, must have hot dinner for her ready.
Oh, sweet.
Thing lah. So then to me, it's a bit of a compromise.
But do you think it's ever been a point where you cook and then you're like, I know Jess is going to clean her, I'm just going to leave her?
No, I don't think so.
Don't think so?
I think that's when it is
Correct.
weaponized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I think we're trying to break, you know? So you don't do that.
Yeah.
So you do it subconsciously because you're like, I will clean, and then she just does it for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, but if I know that you're not actively in a relationship right now, but previously in your previous relationships, have you ever had any experiences with experiencing any of this?
When it comes to weaponized incompetence, it is the most like basic thing, but I will tell you, Sons has to do it for me as well, is hotpot.
Cook for you,
Correct.
Oh.
So,
This dude cannot.
Is it the
like-
prawn you don't know how to peel yourself or
okay, so here's the thing. It's not that I don't know. It's
You
I
just don't
don't
want.
want.
Yeah.
Right? And when we go to hotpot, I refuse. So if we go, I will have to sit next to her and she have to
he will
cook for
say
me.
he will say I suck at this. I'm like,
Correct.
what? It's just boiling the food.
my
I mean, it's just cooking the food.
God.
Yeah.
You're the only one
Cooking
who's
the
willing to
food
do
and
it.
boiling- No, you know why? Because I suggested hotpot and forgot that he is,
Aw.
and then I did it again. Like, I don't know why. I just because I want to eat hotpot.
Yeah, because she loves hotpot.
Yeah.
So, and the thing is that it
No
happened in my
choice.
past relationships as well, right? So I will always say, oh, you like hotpot? Can. But I'm not good at cooking the food because I scared I will get sick.
Oh.
But it's bullshit. I just hate
Total
cooking.
bullshit.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
So you don't cook at all lah?
No, and I don't like going on hotpot.
Oh.
So
Hotpot.
hotpot in general.
Yeah.
Korean barbecue?
I also don't like.
I think anything that requires you to
Cooking.
DIY
Yeah.
your
Okay.
food.
To me, that's my very low level of like weaponized incompetence, right?
Yeah.
Because I just don't like to cook hotpot.
Oh, but I
Maybe
think
that was a
it's-
deal breaker.
That's why you're saying.
No.
Oh, then every Chinese New Year is a struggle.
Oh no, my family knows.
Wow.
My family knows. So my sister, my second sister, Alex, will cook for me. So I will have to sit next to my sister and she'll cook for me.
It'd be very funny if one day they just decided not to do it for you and they
They
just let
have.
you starve.
They have.
your
And I just
sibling.
ate white rice.
Oh my god.
So you rather you know what?
Weaponized
No.
incompetence.
Okay, no.
but he said he
look.
don't like.
I
Correct.
don't like.
Yeah.
Correct. No. I think if he's like, then I got no food, nobody cook for me, then I'll be like, that's an issue.
No. I will not say that.
But
Like-
if you are contented eating your boring white rice, actually I love white rice.
Or not eating
But-
hot pot at all.
Then
Okay,
okay.
then that's
then
your
okay.
problem.
That's my version of like my weaponized incompetence. But do you guys think women are more likely to do this or men are more likely to do this?
Bit of a dangerous
A
question.
very dangerous question.
Nick, what do you think? If you think it's dangerous, I'll ask you.
It's quite equal, but the branding for women doing it is a lot better than the branding for men doing it.
Why?
Because I find that, so this is going off like social media trends, right? When it's like a girl doing it, then a lot of times it can be disguised under the I'm just a girl.
just a baby.
I'm just a baby. I'm passenger princess.
Right.
But then I think when guys do it, then
It sounds toxic.
it gets called out very quickly.
Yeah.
I think it's also because with relationships with men and women, it sometimes crosses the boundary of men liking women that resemble their moms.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
So because of that dynamic that exists, they expect a maternal caregiver kind of thing. And that's why they are okay to not. Because women also, we have that maternal instinct to want to take care and provide in that sense. And because we already have that innate ability, when we see a man that we love, like not being able to do something or he's not, and we want the best for him, sometimes it's not that they ask. It's like I'm very hungry, but I'm very lazy to go across the street. So I'll just like eat beans, for example. And I'll be like, no, we need to like get you your protein and whatever. So then I'll go out my way and I'll be annoyed that I have to go and buy food. And then I realize
he never asked you to buy
he
food.
didn't ask for it.
Yeah.
I'm just assuming that like he has chosen this super inconvenient like path for himself, and like no, we need to get the best for him. Like, actually, am I mothering him? And I notice that can be very dangerous as well, because you don't want to mother your partner.
Yeah.
But I think especially when you mother and then you feel resentment, then it's
Correct.
for nothing, ma.
Correct.
At least you recognized it.
It's like one-sided beef law.
Just to add on to this, so I'm not sure if this is related to me being like an only child, for example, right? Wait, anyone else here only? You also, right? Okay. So the fact is, when I was growing up, we didn't have a helper. But because I'm the only child, most people would think that I'm quite spoiled or like only children are spoiled. That's the generic view on only children, right? And the problem is, if I don't do something like a chore or I don't wash the dishes or clean up my room, my mom will end up doing it without even saying anything, because she's just like, just do it, kind of thing. So I don't know whether subconsciously I feel that way about my partner too. I'm like, if I don't clean up this cup, someone else will do it.
Someone will do it.
Someone will do
else
it.
will
It
do
will
it.
get done.
Yeah.
Do you think it's kind of like ingrained?
I think so, but
Right.
I think in this instance it's not gender specific,
It's
but
not,
I
yeah.
feel like in a lot of households, right, especially in Singapore or like Asian households, there's one expectation for a son and then there are different expectations for daughters. So I have friends who are like, the son don't need to do this, but then the daughter must do.
Okay.
And it's like, it's not unique, it's quite common.
So you feel like it could stem from this generational sort of...
But I think it's also, so that together with like being a mama's boy, then those sons grow up to become like that, no? They will expect their wives to do it.
There are a lot of TikToks of moms now saying like, if you have a son, you better make sure you teach him too. You're doing this for his future girlfriend or wife, because I'm having to go through it with my husband and I don't want to repeat this pattern. So there are a lot of women who are stepping up and saying this.
That's why so many women have beef with their mother-in-laws.
The mindset is changing though, I feel. It's changing.
100%.
The question then I have, right, is because you guys are all in relationships, right? And obviously these are things that like leaving the cups around, like not washing up and then having Jess to wash up. Or
I leave the cups around so much that Jeremy calls it a cup for us.
there we go, yeah, right? Like,
For
do
us.
your partners call you out for it?
Yes!
Right? And how do y'all deal with that? Like they're like, I've told you this multiple times. Like, how do they do it? How do y'all deal with that?
Suddenly I feel like I'm being interviewed as well.
Welcome to therapy.
So, yes, to therapy by my own therapist. So initially he reacted in a irritated sort of way, like, why so many cups? Like, kind of thing. So I told him, I'm really sorry. Like, I'll try to be better at this. Not cup for us, just a cup bush or something smaller. And he'd be like, okay. So I realized that when he comes at me with this more like frustrated, aggressive tone, I will react also. I'll be like defensive about it. But then he tries to change his tone. He'll be like, babe, like I know that you need to drink a lot of water, but can you please just limit it to 1 cup?
You mean it's all water? It's not different beverages.
No, I don't drink any other beverages except for coffee and water.
And then you use 1 cup per cup of water.
Per time that I need to drink.
No, but the last sip you cannot finish, right? It needs to be a new cup.
No, then
Yeah.
pour away and refill, ma.
I
In the
cannot
same
mix
cup.
the water from 6 a.m. with the water at 2 p.m.
Why? The taste different?
No, the dust will go
It's
inside.
exposed the
and-
minerals, then
Yeah.
the oxygen.
After you guys talk about it, how do they respond? Are they like, they completely just say, okay, I understand it. It's no longer this weaponized incompetence that you're leaving it around. It's just you being you.
Yeah.
Do they ever acknowledge that?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes.
I think after living together for so long, Charlie and I have kind of figured out where we lack, like individually. And because I recognize that there are so many things that he does, like that are like picking up after me and cleaning up after me, that when I clean up after him, I don't see it as like a chore. It's just like I help you, you help me.
Yeah.
But it's only when the balance is like tipped and one person is doing everything. I think that's when a conversation needs to happen. But definitely at the start, like I got beard hair everywhere in the sink lah. Then like after you trim your beard hair, then
You don't clean it up.
But then I realized after I trim my bangs, right? Then the hair I just like let in the sink, right? Then the sink choked. So it's like we're both learning.
Problematic.
Correct. And we're both very different people. Like our lifestyles are very different. So I think because of that, we really had to learn and find like middle ground and compromise.
I think at the workplace, if I try to think about the dynamic that I have with my own partner, Joachim, as well, right? Like both of us obviously have our strengths and weaknesses and what we're good at, what we're not. So we do pick up and we don't say anything because we're not in a relationship. And to be honest, we just want the best result for our show, for example. So we don't question. We just do it.
Yeah, I think it's a matter of recognizing that there are strengths and weaknesses for both of you. And as long as you don't constantly hold them accountable to their weaknesses and like when they say something about you, then you get defensive, then that's not fair, right? So I think it's about, I think the unspoken thing is very respectful because you recognize that you both have different strengths that you play into and you rely on each other for.
Yeah.
And creating that like resentment or friction is only going to do harm to your relationship.
The other example, like, because we talk about workplace and like in your romantic relationships, right? Actually within your family also, ma. So like, for example, if you have an older parent and then they are always like, hey, help me do the Microsoft Word or help me do the pay now or like, hey, I think I gonna scam. And then, you know, there's that constant resistance to learning like or embracing technology and then being 100% dependent on you. To me, that is a form of weaponized incompetence.
You think so, really?
I
Yeah,
do.
because I think, okay, if it's complex task, right, like I ask you Photoshop one poster, that kind of thing, then okay lah, it's a bit much. But then if you can WhatsApp your friends,
Correct.
if you can do these things, right, you can go on Facebook, you can scroll Douyin, right, then you surely can
learn how to do something,
learn how to
yeah.
pay now someone, right?
I agree. I agree.
Speaking of, right, on the Chinese version of Reddit, I don't know if you guys have heard of this story, but there was this one guy who created this thread and he said, how do I stop getting my wife to ask me to do household chores? Because she just gave birth and now that she's home, he needs to do a lot of things.
Yeah.
And he's like, how do I get this to stop? And then, so the second top comment, right, was every time you do something, just break the dishes. So like, let's say you do the dishes, you break.
No, seriously.
And every time she asks you, you just do it, but like, make
Bare
it bad
minimum.
so that she will stop asking you.
Yeah lah.
Okay, so
weaponized.
that was
Weaponized
the
incompetence.
second top, right? The first comment was a guy who said, no, actually I'll one up you. You always offer to do it, but when you offer to do it, you do the same thing, you make it bad. But at least she gets to say like, oh, actually he really wants to, but he's just not good at it. So then I will do it. So
There's
this
so much
is
manipulation.
emotional plus like, oh my God. When I read that, I was like, this is so scary.
That's
Yeah.
so bad.
'Cause
Actually,
it's
that's
calculated.
terrible.
Yeah.
It's very
it
bad.
is.
Well,
It is.
okay, we've talked a lot about emotional, a lot about work space and everything, right? But we've also need to know, how do you draw the line and how do you differentiate actual incompetence and weaponized incompetence? Like, what if somebody really just does not know how to do something versus, you know, I really don't know how to do it, but I'm trying to make you do it for me.
I think everybody's line different. So I have friends, right, like guy friends who they really go out of their way to the point where I call them simps lah for their wives, which is fine. To be a simp for your wife is fine. But then like I'll be like, bro, come on, like she confirm can do, but they just want to do it for their partner, which I think is fine. As long as you are happy and like are able to tolerate,
all right,
and it's a compromise you're willing to make, it's an extra effort that you're happily willing to give, then I think that is your line. But that line might be different for everybody.
Yeah.
I feel that a person is able to tell whether it's real or not. Like an excuse or actually not knowing how to do something.
Yeah, I think it's the worst when it's verbalized. Like, I know if I do, you're gonna redo anyway, so that I just do like half lor. You know what I mean? So you already, why not, instead of wasting both our times, because you're gonna do it already, just do it like one time go on, like just do once. And then you don't have to make me check also. You know what I mean?
Guys, thank you so much for breaking this down with us and giving us an insight into your relationships as well. I think we can all relate somehow.
Except to cooking your own food. That
That one, no.
The hot
that
pot
one
one
is,
would be interesting.
yeah.
The hot pot.
The hot pot.
Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. And once again, thank you, Joey and Nic, for joining us on another episode of Men Explain.
Yes.
Make sure to follow us on all our socials on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Subscribe at itsclarity.co.
Yeah, if you enjoyed it, please log on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Me Listen. We're all around you as well. So be sure to see you there. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
I don't really think about vacuuming that much because we do have 2 pets. And then it's like he like to see the particles, the
Go
levels,
into
the percentage of like how clean or like how much dirt is sucked up. I'm like, okay, fun. I'll make it more fun for you. It's like a game, like, woo, you can handle the vacuuming then.
I'll make it more fun for you.